Hello everybody, Nathan Hall here. Today's lesson, we're doing a little knowledge. Going to focus on the conflicts in this story, but also graphic weight as our big visual element. And we're starting off with this guy. So when you see him, the black you can kind of ignore, but the first thing you go to, nice to see his lips more than you see his face. His eyes you probably notice last, and there is a reason for this. There's a big science behind colors we're going to look at. So our hero in this story is Jack in the Box. But he's not the main character. He's not our protagonist. We saw him briefly in Reconnaissance. So he's a normal but rich guy with a whole lot of gadgets and a particular theme. Kind of sounds like someone, doesn't it? The big question, what would you do if you learned a superhero's secret identity? Well, it's not that easy. And that's what we're going to see here. So we're going to look at hypothetical paths and the conflicts that result from those. We're going to also look at graphic weight. So our main character in the story, he sees something that, I'm not going to say he shouldn't see, but something people didn't expect him to see. And he also believes there's a way he can make his life better. That'll be one of the questions. Who are his external conflicts against? I mean, he seems to have friends, but are they really his friends? What's going on in his head? What are his internal conflicts? As the story moves forward, it has imaginary situations, hypothetical there, and flashbacks, where history lived things in the past. How do we show that? Oh, we have our panels. So our superhero. This guy's been in business for more than 30 years, still bouncing around. How does he do that? Be one of the questions to try to figure out later. Come to think of it, look at Batman. He started in 1939, before World War II. He's still in great shape. How do you think he manages that? So one more thing they have in common, clowns are really creepy, aren't they? But why does Batman dress up like a bat? And the thing we're going to look at, we've talked about the villain's journey and the hero's journey. So remember, the hero, they get a call to action, they have to leave their normal world, they get mentored a bit, they have to go through changes, temptation, it looks like they're going to lose everything. But they make it back through. They have one final conflict. Usually with harrowing, looks like they're about to lose it all. Then they go back home. Villains were a little different. Villains, they will redouble their efforts or stay the same, even when it's clear they're going to fail. That's the big difference. So Eisenstein, he wants change, but yeah, he's not really sure how to get it. So see here, some possible fates he imagines. He could be a success, incredibly wealthy. And look how red this panel is. That's going to be important. Then this one, got more of a yellowish shade to it. More of a tan, where his friends just take his knowledge and betray him. We have this one, which is outright sepia, more of a brownish gold, where he's outright betrayed. And this one, where the hero comes out ahead. Whole lot of red and purple going on. It's kind of menacing, kind of nightmarish. And each time, notice our borders. Our borders are such a fuzzy mess. So what do you notice about the colors in these panels? That'll be one of your questions. What about the borders? What are the biggest sources of his stress? What solution does he come to? And has he changed? This will be one of your thought questions. Does he really show change and growth, like a hero should? Because bear in mind, this is him as a little boy. Then he kind of grows up and he has to make more decisions. So this whole story, it's about keeping your eyes open to see things. And that is our visual element. Some images draw the eye more than others. Here, kind of an absence of color with the black and white. So you see that blue shark in there right away. So how do they do it? Well, here we have some lighter grays, but here, contrast is very high. It's light and dark. So these draw the eyes more carefully, as opposed to, you probably even noticed the grass here, huh? Series of repeated marks. You see the heads repeating? Your eyes are drawn to that. Color, it's more brilliant here than the rest. Let's break this down. Contrast. How vivid the colors are in the real-time story. In real time, we see they're kind of like, let's go back to our panels. In real time, they're like this, very bright, and the flashbacks are more muted. The contrast drops a lot. Kind of shows just in reality and a dream there. Sorry, trying to find the right one. Okay, so contrast is a measure of differences in colors. The more different they are, the easier they are to tell apart. So here, not a lot of contrast. It's kind of thin gray lines on white. Here, lots of shades of contrast. We have thick black of the Punisher's back. We've got Spider-Man's eyes emphasized with those extra black lines. Whole lot going on here. So your attention's drawn to more details on the right than it is to the left. And weird thing about color, color has a weight to it. Your eyes go more to others. So you can see here, black compared to blue. You're probably going to end up looking at that blue here. Red versus white. Red versus yellow. Probably going to notice that red more. Because red is actually the heaviest color. Yellow is the lightest. So there are some other things that change as well. You can see saturation, how much color you put in. The hue, that's the difference between red and blue right there, how much you put in. In fact, comic books have 4-color pattern I could talk about later. It's actually kind of obsolete now. But and then how light and dark it is. The darker, the more saturated, the heavier the colors. So focus, this comes down to composition. The artists know a lot about the way your eyes move, and when you read graphic novels, they manipulate the way your eyes move. They make it go more to certain details than others. So you go into an important part. Here you focus on this guy, trying to see his little lightning bolt. Another thing, universality. Good, clear, defined face, you're going to see a whole lot of, but this can only be one person. This, a lot of contrast, but could be anyone. And notice here in this picture, this is from the graphic novel Torso. Notice how faded out the background is, how low contrast. The detectives up front, you see more of, and then these guys, your eyes kind of go over here, pan down to them. The faces are vague. They don't want you to see the faces. There's no detail there. Could be any detective in the 30s or 40s. Although that's actually Elliot Ness, the famous detective. Real guy. So these will be our terms this week. Flashback, contrast, graphic weight, color weight, focus, universality. Keep your eyes open when you read comics. They do put in details. They do put in these things so you notice them a little more. You can kind of think you usually accomplish with prose. But in a graphic novel, they manipulate the way your eyes flow. So remember, there's opportunity out there for a man who keeps open. For a sharp-eyed man who, no, maybe not. Try the activities, kind of life class if you have any problems, or visit me in cafe.